were secrets. And a lot of stuff was lost languages. Well, because of our syntaxing capacity, we were able to break the codes on these and put all the correct language in, syntaxing these. We had cardinals and bishops for 3 days follow us around as we told them all the secrets. After that exercise was done, we then wrote an international bank treaty for Cardinal Sedana, and we were awarded key masters as the first persons to ever write a quantum treaty with the Vatican. When we came back, we drove 2,000 miles through Europe. We then went from there to Bern, Switzerland, and met with the Universal Postal Union. From there, we went to Zurich and met with the German Bank of Germany. And from there, we went back to Paris. I have a passport, so I was allowed to fly out. But Russell was mailed there, registered mail. So the Postmaster General of the Universal Postal Union in Bern, Switzerland, and the Postmaster General for the United States in Europe both had to vouch for Russell. But that still wasn't enough to get him through security. They wanted a passport. When the head of the Charles de Gaulle Airport heard that we were there as key masters, he came down to interview us. The man who was in charge of the Charles de Gaulle Airport is the great-great-great-grandson of the Joan of Arc, who was a keymaster with the Vatican. Going all the way back, he's a direct descendant. And when he heard that there was 2 keymasters from the Vatican at his airport, he shut down the airport, held 300 people on a DC-10 for 3.5 hours as he interviewed us for 3 hours, and did syntaxing exercises with us for 3 hours about Vatican secrets using a Bible. After which time he gave us red carpet VIP treatment through security onto the plane. We flew back and were accepted. We had to be debriefed by the post office when we landed in Philadelphia, but everything went smooth. Got him there, got him back. All postmasters in the world were notified that Russell was mailed to Europe and back registered mail successfully. As the only person to ever do that. And to this day, the post office still tells tales of the stunts that we have pulled and the treaties we have. I'm also a muster master for the Pentagon with the Secretary of, and so is Russell, with the Secretary of Defense. Yes?
Why are the secrets of the Vatican so secret?
Well, first off, you don't have Manly Hall's Secret of All Ages. There are only 5 copies on the planet. Number 2, you don't have a deluxe copy, which have been syntaxed by me. There's only one in existence, and I own it. So therefore, the secrets that exist are so complex. If you started reading right now on a 6-page book that's 6,000 pages long, this wide and this tall and this thick, it would take you several years to get through that. And you would also have a syntax background to understand what it says. Russell and I both do. And we concur on different things. I'm 25 years older than Russell, by the way. Go ahead.
Is there a book of
Enoch. Enoch. I know what Enoch means, yes. But no, there's not a book of Enoch. It's a tale about a UFO. That's what Enoch means. It's a UFO tale. They made a movie called Enoch, if you want to watch it. Yes?
Do you have with you Claim of the Life, like a Claim of the Life, birth, whatever?
Yeah, it's on page 2.
I would like to see one that's done.
Right there, page 3 in the book. There's also the same ones on the internet. Just fill it out, put your picture on it, have your people autograph and fingerprint it, and you're done. It's called a claim of the life. Claim of the live life. What it means is that you have knowledge of what a prepositional phrase is, how to certify what a fact is. You've identified yourself, your mother, your father, and 2 other people with claims of the life have identified you to be a fact. That's all it means. You don't file a claim of life written with the correct parsé syntax grammar with the recorder's office or with the fiction government. Why would you file a fact with a fiction? It's an oxymoron. It's only for you to use. If you want to attach it to a federal lawsuit, and if you want to go to The Hague and file a claim of the life, take a lawsuit into the Hague, showing that I'm a live person who's been violated under a genocide or apartheid situation, then they would accept your paperwork. They will not accept any paperwork from an individual who does not have a claim of life. People, you cannot file lawsuits at The Hague. The Hague is a branch of the United Nations. You must be a United Nations member who has paid your dues of $1.6 million a year, and you must be a country. Private citizens are not allowed to bring cases. The Blood Diamond case took 14 years to get to court. 235,000 people died under the Blood Diamond Civil War. And that's why the Blood Diamond movie was made. For those that haven't seen it, yeah. A break? 7:30. We're just, for an hour? Oh. We're almost done, that's all. We're just answering some questions, and you guys can get out of here. Because I'm the guy standing up here for 8 hours. Yes?
There's a republic, they claim they filed with the Hague.
Tim Turner is under arrest. He was arrested a couple days ago, by the way. He's in jail right now.
Really?
Yes, really. Tim Turner, re means no public. A no public document written in adverb verb is nonsense. So he's trying to promote a negative condition of state in the world of quantum. Therefore, the U.S. Attorney's Office, or the federal attorneys, are now using my quantum technology to arrest any organization in fiction anywhere in the United States that would take money or mislead American citizens. They're going to shut down the whole thing. In May 1993, I went on the radio to do my first quantum radio show. In 6 weeks, 2,800 organizations in the United States were put out of business. There was only 10 organizations left standing. Today, there's only, I don't know, maybe less than a dozen that actually are still in existence. Otherwise, my technology has completely rolled across the planet, and anybody attempting to start anything up, do anything with IRS, or anything, redemption, straw man, UCC, acceptance for value, all nonsense, all being arrested under false and misleading statements. So this is the only program that's replacing the entire planet. Question?
Fred and Nina Gutierrez.
What?
Fred and Nina Gutierrez. What does that mean to you?
Fred and Anita.
Nina.
Fred and
Going around
Nina?
the countryside doing seminars.
Set off debt, doctor.
Set off debt.
They'll probably be arrested shortly for false and misleading statements. I'm serious. I don't know anything about them, but if you show me, if you got a website, something I can look at, a piece of paper that they've written, if it ain't in quantum, or if it isn't in quantum, I should say, it'll be nixed like that.
You mentioned also the UCC.
It's copyrighted by England. It's private property.
Right. And we talked, so how does the UCC affect us over here in the United States? It doesn't, or isn't it still?
Lawyers and attorneys work in a foreign vessel in dry dock. The foreign vessel in dry dock of the courthouse is the same in all 250 countries using the same UCC, only in the courthouse, only by judges and attorneys and lawyers. It does not apply to the civilian population anywhere on the planet.
So using UCC 1-308.
No, it's nonsense. It's all written in adverb, verb means nothing. Right. Anytime you look up all the words that have a prefix or a suffix, they are in void, a violation of now time. If you're not in now time and you're not correct mathematically, you're not correct, period. Yes?
I was just going to ask, as we go along and this technology gets revealed, we'll probably be told these secrets that have been held back for thousands and thousands of years.
Well, I have 50 stars on my flag dealing with the 50 tricks and traps and procedures of correct grammar. They don't represent conditions of the states. They represent the conditions of operations. And so it's the operations that I've been bringing out and teaching to the people. And every time the government goes out and they cook up a brand new plan to think they're going to trump me, I just go ahead and pull another trump card out of my thing and I trump them. They haven't, I've shut the United States federal government down 23 times, the entire government, courthouses, legislation, the Senate, everybody. So I'm a world icon. The whole world knows my name. I'm probably bigger than, when I went to Australia, the Immigration and Customs says, you're bigger than the president of Australia. You got like 4 times more people on your website than he does. He says, who are you and what are you doing in our country? And so I pulled out all my gambling cards and I says, I'm here to gamble. I'm in your Texas Hold'em tournaments. And I pulled out my cash and I says, I have the cash to buy into the tournament. And I like to gamble. Just part of my entertainment. I know adrenaline, you know. I mean, it's got to have something to give me a little kind of buzz. Doing it to judges isn't buzzing me. Yeah.
On one set of videos, I remember you mentioning hanging on a cliff.
Yes, that was at Devil's Lake, Wisconsin. In other words, I'm a rock climber. I've climbed Devil's Tower already in Wyoming. That's a 1,200-foot face. It's as smooth as this wall here, with little tiny cracks going all the way up to the top. And get up before sun up, and you start climbing up that thing, and you get up to the top, sign your name, and you come back down on the backside, which is kind of easy. Or you rappel down the face. But I was climbing on Devil's Lake. It was 95 degrees out. I was on a cliff about 102 feet tall at Red Rock. And that's a smooth face. It's an inverted climb, which means you hang a rope off the top, it hangs 6 feet off the bottom, so you're actually negative climbing all the way up. You slip, you fall, you got your rope. Well, I was 10 feet from the top, and where my carabiner was tied off was 10 feet below from the guy who put it up on top. He had climbed down, but I was out of location. I went up the wrong crack. So here I am in a wrong location, and I had to disconnect. So now I'm on a 90-foot cliff after an hour climb, 10 feet from the top, and it's all smooth. All I got is a 3-inch crack in front of me. So I had to put my fist inside the crack and tighten it so hard that I could do a 1-arm pull-up and do that hand over hand for 10 feet to get over the top, otherwise fall to my death. There was no way up, no way down except to go over the top. The rock doesn't care if you die. So you're there, and you have one responsibility. You either put away your pain, you put away your stupidity, and you tough it out. You get over the top. You pull yourself out of the situation. And when you get done with that, and you survive, everything else is nonsense. I don't believe that. And that's what it means to do something. Now, I've taught all my children, all 6 of them are rock climbers. My son and my daughter used to be teachers of rock climbing at Devil's Lake, Wisconsin. My son, Mark, he was climbing one day, and he had been instructing for 3 years. And we were up at Red Rock, and he had tied all the ropes off. I mean, he had done everything. And he was so busy doing what he was doing, he didn't pay attention. Put his carabiner on all nice, his harness, tied his knots off, and then he flew his foot out backwards to rappel down, except the pile of rope was still 10 feet in front of him, around the base of the tree, sitting there in one neat pile, and I was about 12 feet away, and I was tying my shoe, and I looked at him, and I looked at the rope as he swung his foot out, and he was already past the point of return, which means he was going to fall 90 feet to his death. And from a squat position, I sprung like a frog and caught the end of the rope as he hit a 45-degree taut. He pulled himself back on and sat there and shook and cried for 20 minutes, realizing that he had just died and got his life back. And me, I caught that rope with both hands, and you could see the marks in my hands from squeezing. There are relevance in time, just like me dropping the bullet and avoiding things. There are some things that aren't supposed to happen. There are some things that have to happen. And after that, he was the safest climber does a triple everything. Nobody touches a rope that he touches. He doesn't trust anybody or anything, but he is triple secure at everything he does now. At 18, he's now 38 years old, 20 years later. 8 years ago, he caught the edge of his foot on a roofing nail and fell 12 feet onto concrete off a roof. Crushed his left foot, which is now titanium, and crushed his left wrist, which has pins in it. And so he still roofs, but he wears a harness when he's up on the roof. And he's super, super careful. That was the second time he was careless. So he pays very close attention now, but he's in a lot of pain. The bones change, titanium doesn't. So, any questions? Yes?
Oaths of office, if they're upholding an oath to the Constitution, which is not the Constitution, but you're saying just to the state, is that what you said?
All right, I'll explain what that means. The judge says, I swear to support the Constitution of the United States. Correct?
Correct.
What does the word United States mean? United means no citizen, condition of state. He supports the Constitution of the piece of paper that is in front of him between two or more people, as there are two people that are nom de guerre names on a piece of paper. That piece of paper, which is the lawsuit, yours is traffic, his is divorce, yours is speeding, doesn't matter what you're there for, misconduct, everybody's in court for something. You want to collect rents. The point is, every piece of paper in court is a different constitution of two or more people between him and the person in front of them asking for something. That's what it means. The word constitution means contract.
So
Has
how
nothing
can
to
I
do
use-
with Washington.
So how can, for example, the oath that I showed you of the police officer, how can I use that to my advantage to avoid something that's going on?
Oh, real simple. Mr. Police Officer, will you please take the witness stand? And he takes the witness stand. You take the oath of office and you hold it up. Is this your oath of office? Yes, it is. Did you write that? And he's going to say, no, that was presented to me. Do you know what the word syntax means? He's going to go, well, no, I don't. I says, you signed a document, but you don't know what grammar means. You know what the word grammar means? Do you know what the word parse means? Do you know what the word syntax means? If he answers yes to all three of those, then you're saying, then you understand how to syntax this document, correct? He's going to say, no, I don't. So you don't know what you're signing, which means you don't have an oath of office with knowledge. It says you're saying one thing here, but you're just testified because you don't know what you're doing. Your Honor, this man has just identified the fact that he doesn't have an oath of office. Now let's say, I says, did you go to college? And yes, I did. I went 4 years of criminology, took college in criminology. Did you study English in college? Yes, I did. Did you study English in high school? Yes, I did. All right, do you know what the word syntax means? Yes, I do. You understand what the word grammar means? Yes, I do. You understand what parse means? It's a French word. If you don't, I'll explain. It means parts of a word. Okay, that's fair. You can give him a hint. So now you understand parse, syntax, grammar. Is that correct? He goes, yes, it is. Did you write this? You're going to say, well, it's an oath that I signed. Again, do you understand what it means? He's going to say, well, yes, I do. Then if you understand what this means, did you modify your facts with adverbs and adjectives? Did you change the meaning of the syntax on this document by putting adverbs and adjectives in front of the facts? What's he going to say? Is that your autograph? Yes.
He's going to have to say yes.
He's going to have to say yes. He understands that he modified. Under false and misleading statements and fictitious conveyance of language and deprivation of rights under coloring of law, you just confessed to 3 felonies, and you signed it. Now, while engaged in criminal activity under Title 42, 1988, states responsible for all fees in this case. Your Honor, this man asked me for $525 fine here. The district attorney is a co-conspiracy with this here, as the two of them work together to ask me for a $525 fine. I'm invoking the Clayton Act for a 4 times damages. I want a check for $2,200 right now, and this man just committed treason in front of me. And the state pays all fees. Now you cut me a check because I have a criminal confession by a police officer.
Can you take that a step further?
If the DA wants to prosecute, yes, but then the DA was party to it, so therefore it's a co-conspiracy. So he's guilty of 22 and he's guilty of 22. And the state's going to go, I'm going to vacate this case right now because I ain't paying no bills.
So, we can do the same thing with the attorney's office.
Exactly, which says nothing.
And judges?
Once you, and judges. Well, not the judges, on the other hand, are not in the courtroom. They're on a different plane. You know, when I went through a divorce, the lawyer asked me for $1,700 worth of attorney fees for fighting for my children. He says, hey, Mr. Attorney, take the witness stand. Oh, I don't have to take the witness stand. Client-attorney privileges. So I didn't care about your client. I didn't ask you a question for that. I said, take the witness stand. You asked me for money. That's maritime law of commerce. You have to testify under maritime law of commerce. Judge Wasilewski goes, he's right. It's maritime law of commerce. You asked him for money. You've got to take the witness stand and testify. Well, his 8 business partners that belonged to his law firm all were sitting in the courtroom, all in a nice row next to each other to watch him take down David Miller and make him pay a fine, make him pay attorney fees. I asked him the same questions. Did you go to law school? How long have you been a lawyer? And his answer to each one of them, do I have to answer that, Judge? And the judge says, of course you do. If you're not a member of the bar, you're going to get kicked out of here. If you didn't go to law school, you're an imposter. Do you understand syntax? He goes, yes. Do you understand grammar? Yes. Is this your autograph? Yes. Did you write this document? Yes. Did you ask me for money? Yes. Did you modify your facts? Not your nouns, because they're no-nos. Did you modify your facts with adverbs and adjectives? Well, yes, I did. And what did they do? They modified. Therefore, you changed. And because you intentionally changed, is there any closure on this document for false, misleading information, for modification of the facts into verbs? Well, no. Well, by your own confession, you modified grammar under false, misleading statements, fictitious conveyance of grammar, and deprivation of rights under color of law. And you tried to extort money from me under mail fraud, Title 18, Section 1341. That's $1 million fine and 30 years in prison. You feel lucky today? Judge goes, can he do that to me? Wasilewski is laughing. He had to stop himself from laughing. He was laughing so hard when I downloaded on him. He says, he's already done it to you. You just confessed the 4 felonies. You will write him a check right now for $6,400 or I'm going to put you in prison. And he did, pulled out his checkbook, and his boss stands up, he goes across the courtroom, you're fired, I'm not paying that bill. And ever since that day, there has never been an attorney take the witness stand in my presence. They won't even let me in the courtroom.
You said maritime law. Isn't maritime law connected with the UCC at all?
No. Aren't you a vessel in a sea of space called Earth? That's maritime. Earth is a vessel in the sea of space, outer space. All things are maritime.
And isn't that contract?
All contract law, right. The contract better be correct or you're going to get nailed for false, misleading information.
But UCC is contract also.
UCC is copyrighted. It's not allowed to be used unless you're under contract in a foreign venue. Foreign venue would be a spaceship landed on planet Earth from another planet, declared the fact that they are a foreign spaceship in dry dock under law of the flag, which is fiction, in advertising fiction. Therefore, when you walk in there with no paperwork, you've trespassed on a foreign vessel and nothing you say matters because you're not going to talk to them in correct parse, syntax, grammar. And they don't have to listen to you because all 8 billion people are foreign to each other, speak Babel, and that's the truth of it all, folks. Only thing that matters is what you write on paper with a stamp, a flag, and the correct mathematical grammar, and you take responsibility for every word, your laws, rules, regulations, and codes on that paper. That your punctuation is in the correct place. Even if you put something, claimant's knowledge, I just took away the hyphen. Now I just wrote 4, 1, 3, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. This is a 3. No. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, comma, 2, 2, and 4, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, period. So that would be a 4. No, that would be a 1, 2. But because of the period, because it's abbreviated, then all of these would become 4s. And then that would become a 4 also. 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2. Just because I left